Broadcasting from the great state of Texas. News and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Lubbock, Amarillo, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Midland, Odessa, Dallas, Fort Worth, down in Houston, over in El Paso, and anywhere else. Inside or outside the great state of Texas, wherever you may be listening, welcome in to the Chad HD Show. Glad to have you with us on this Thursday, April 16th of 2026. We're glad that you've joined us today, whether you're listening at home or at work, maybe in the car, maybe you're still stuck in traffic somewhere. Wherever you're tuning in, we're happy that you've joined in with us today, as we have a whole lot to get into. We are scheduled to visit with the mayor of the city of Lubbock, Mayor Mark McBrayer, who's running for re-election. Scheduled to visit with him coming up at about 5:35 this evening. Looking forward to that conversation. We've got a lot to talk about and get into with him coming up at 5:35. We've also got a lot of statewide news and national headlines to talk about. And, of course, as always, we want to hear from you. You've heard from everybody else all day long. Now it's your chance, your opportunity to sound off on the issues that matter to you the most. How do you do that? Well, it's real easy. You can text in at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. When you text in, give us your name and obviously where you're listening from. That way we can give you a proper shout out and acknowledgement whenever you text in. You can also find us on social media at Chad Hasty Radio. That's Chad Hasty Radio on social media, including the X, also Instagram and Facebook. All those kind of good places where you can find us. You can tap your station's app and send us a message that way. A lot of people who like to do that. They like to send a message via the app chat feature, where you can use that, or even send in a picture or a voice memo. We've got a lot of folks who like to do that. And of course, the old-fashioned way is just by picking up the phone and calling in on a beautiful day in Texas. You can do that by just calling in 1-800-687-0790. That's 1-800-687-0790. When you dial in, the first person, the first voice that you will hear from this evening, a guy who I haven't even seen today, but he's been here. He's been around, and he's threatening, puppies still and everything else. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm okay. You've just reminded me. I forgot we had that conversation.
We did, yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
About the poor puppies.
Yeah.
Here in Lubbock. Actually, recently, we posted a question to the Facebook audience.
Oh, did you?
Asking what TV show? What TV show did you like? Did you watch all the time growing up? I think we've talked about this before, but it got me thinking as well.
Yeah.
What was the TV show of the 80s? Because you've got, Seinfeld for the 90s, and Friends, you've got that, and that kind of, that blends, you know, especially Friends, kind of bleeds into the 2000s. But what was the 80s? The biggest TV show? I know there's a lot of common ones.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think, and for that, 70s? Obviously, you can go decade by decade, but it really stood out because as I was reading some of the responses, I thought, yeah, those are some very, very well known shows. What do you have a list pulled up of the top shows?
No, I'm trying to think. Here because I was born in '82.
Sure.
So very young, obviously. I would not be in the demo for any of the top TV shows of the '80s.
7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in the top demo for any of those. I'm trying to. Cheers.
Was Cheers 80s?
Cheers was '80s. It blended into the '90s.
Yeah, because
it's like so many of the
sure.
It's like so many of the big shows, they would last.
Yeah. Well, that's why they were good.
Yeah. I mean, you knew you had a hit when it went into season 10. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you got. I
know that there's so many good options though.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I've just been thinking about that off and on today.
Yeah, I would say of the 80s, and we can keep it at the 80s. We can do that.
Right. I think that's more, like the 30s.
Yeah.
It's a little tough.
We can keep it at the 80s. We could go, how about that? Let's spread it out. Let's spread it out just a tad bit and go your favorite show of the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Okay.
All right.
Spreading quite okay.
So we're going to spread it out a little bit.
Yeah. There's so many options in those decades.
But
good options.
If you want to leave it at what was the defining show of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I mean, there were a lot of good TV shows, but truly defining shows of those eras, I don't think it would be as many as you think.
Right. I just mean there's a lot of good shows.
Yeah.
Those 30 years, a lot of good.
A lot of good. I mean, because a lot of good shows that, by the way, some of them would never be able to air today, for different reasons.
Sure.
But I think you cover a lot of ground on what is the truly defining shows, because I think you pick any decade out of it, and you're only going to have maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
That are truly defining as a series or as a decade. You could go, that was a great show, but that really didn't
to
define
you or to
right, exactly,
the media biz.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is interesting. I'd love to hear.
So there you go. That's a nice running topic. I like it. You introduced it a little early, but that's okay. That's all right.
You wanted to wait till 6:45?
I wanted to wait a little bit longer, but it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Let's see Chad. How about Cosby or Baywatch? Dallas. Dallas. Jerry in Lubbock. Dallas. I would say. I would put Dallas at one of the top of the. Big time shows.
Was that 80s or was it 90s?
Gosh, I know it.
I know it was a big one, but I don't remember. I'm trying to think.
I know it lasted. It lasted over. Okay, so that's what I thought. Okay, so it was 80s. I'd say pinnacle 80s.
Sure, peaked.
Yeah, I'd
80s.
say pinnacle 80s. So I would say Dallas pinnacle 80s.
Sure,
and I would say truly defining television.
You would?
I think I would.
Wow.
Because here's the deal. Who shot JR? The entire world was talking about that episode. The entire world. You had newspapers and television shows in Germany talking about, yes, it was so, and think about it, and you may be a little bit young.
I was a little young in the 80s.
No, I'm just saying. the way that a lot of people defined Texas, when you would go overseas, when you would go somewhere, they thought you lived
Yeehaw,
like
Cowboys.
the TV show Dallas, that everyone had cattle, that everyone had a horse, everyone had oil.
Sure.
And that's what they thought, is that the TV show Dallas, that was Texas. That was everything about Texas. And you had a lot of places where even me as a youngster going and traveling with my parents, going, no, we don't have horses. We're not all.
You took a break from your oil fields to go visit on vacation.
We're on a break from carrying out some cruel act or something. I don't know, but I would say one of the truly defining shows of the '80s would be. Would be Dallas. I would put that up there. Baywatch, I don't think I'd put it as a truly defining show.
That was 90s, right?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As a young male, I enjoyed Baywatch. Cosby Show. Whew, oh boy. You gotta separate. You do.
The show from real life.
You gotta separate the show from real life. But I'll say this. I would put it up there as one, I don't know about defining, but one of the best shows ever was The Cosby Show. And you look at The Cosby Show, and then you go into Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You go into those two shows, and it's all about family values. It's all about family values. It's the family, caring about each other and being there for each other. And it was a message that, whether you were white or black, you loved The Cosby Show. It didn't matter. It held a very, I loved The Cosby Show growing up. I'll still, if I see it on replay, I'll still watch The Cosby Show. It's a great message, episode after episode. It's a fantastic message. And then now you just have to separate, you gotta go, Huxtable, Heathcliff Huxtable, much better than Bill Cosby himself. 806-680-2790. I like this. This is a nice little running topic for the as we get to the middle to the end of the week. The truly defining television shows of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. What were they? Truly defining of a decade. What were they of the 70s, 80s, and 90s? When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio. The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
After 98 years, we're still on the air. This is News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Let's see, one texter chat already. We're 20 minutes into the show, and I can already think about all the great shows that I had growing up. Today's TV sucks. 806-680-2790. Your running topic today. It's a Nick special today. The truly defining TV series of the 70s, 80s, 90s. Pick a couple. Not great, not just good shows, but truly defining of a decade that you think about. You sit there and you think about all the great shows that there were during that time, and you go, "Oh yeah, no, these were the truly defining shows." I got it. Received a couple of more here on the text. We've got Cosby Show, Family Ties, defining the 80s sitcom era. Family Ties was great. Cheers as well, yeah. MASH in the 70s, 90s, Seinfeld and Friends, everything else. Maybe Frasier. Frasier was very good, but I think Seinfeld and Friends, those were the two dominant. Those are the big boys. All in the Family in the 70s. Alf. Can't forget about All in the Family. Three's Company, Carol Burnett Show for the 70s and 80s. Another texture weighing in with. Mitchell and Abilene, Miami Vice. Let's see. James and Lubbock, the Midnight Special. Another texture. Oh, Kendra, this is good. This is good. Very good list here. Cheers, Frasier, Saved by the Bell. 90210. Seinfeld, of course, Friends. That from Kendra in Lubbock. That's good. That's real good. Let's see. Another texter says All in the Family, MASH, Cosby, Monday Night Football. Let's see. Elizabeth weighed in. Just shooting from the hip. 70s were defined by the Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, and Columbo. 806-680. I'm surprised we haven't heard more of the MASH coming in. But yeah, no, good, very good shows. Quite a few of these, I would say, were absolutely defined their era, their decade that was out there. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can weigh in, sound off on any of the topics, any of the issues that we've gotten into. How about this? So later on, we're going to get into some comments being made by Clarence Thomas on young people and intolerance in America and how it will infect the courts. Really good thoughts here. Boy, I know Trump's been on at least wanting to get Samuel Alito out of off of the Supreme Court and somewhere else. I had somebody who emailed me yesterday. If we got both Clarence Thomas and Alito off the court, would that be a good thing for Republicans moving forward? And you know what? I got to say this. I don't know, because they're so good, right? They're so good where they are that it's going to be tough. I mean, really tough replacing both of those men. And you look at this is, no offense to Trump on this, but you thought you were getting some home runs, with Kavanaugh and maybe with some of the others. Did you? Did you get an Alito? Did you get another Clarence Thomas? Not really. And it goes back to there's not a lot of those left. There's not a lot of those type of nominees left where they can actually get through the U.S. Senate. And so, someone had brought up again the idea of going back to Mike Lee, and Mike Lee would be great. Mike Lee would be awesome, but do you want to take him out of the Senate? I don't think so. Ted Cruz doesn't want to be a Supreme Court justice. Ted Cruz wants to be president. He never will be president, but he wants to be president so bad that he refuses to go to the Supreme Court. Again, it is something that I would love for Ted Cruz to say, okay, I'm going to go back and I'll be appointed to the Supreme Court. He would be so much better than when Trump was appointing Amy Coney Barrett. We thought we were getting a home run with Amy Coney Barrett. Remember that? She's been okay. She's been all right. But imagine Ted Cruz on that bench right now. That'd be good. That would be really good. When we come back, it's election season. The mayor of Lubbock in the studio. He's ready to go. He's ready for re-election. We've got some questions for him. We'll do that when we come back here on the Chad Hasty Show.
The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays 5 to 7 p.m. Sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790.
As a parent, you said you'd never give up the convertible. Look, the van even has its own backing. You said you'd never schedule your life around a stuffed animal. Nobody panic. Bun Bun is still at daycare. And never put them in harm's way. I'll be right back, little man. Just gonna pop in the store for diapers. But never happens. Temperatures as low as 60 degrees can be deadly for children left behind. So always bring them with you every time you park the car. Stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When you see a car that's been in a bad crash, it's no accident. When it backs traffic up for miles, no accident. And if there's a fatality involved, somebody died. That's no accident either. A lot of the time, it was speeding. And it's no accident that speeding is a factor in more than 150,000 crashes every year in Texas, many of them fatal. So slow down, be safe, drive smart. A message from TxDOT.
TSN headlines: heartbreaking audio of the murder of 7-year-old Athena Strand played for a Tarrant County jury today. Men in the courtroom could be heard sobbing as they listened to the final moments from the FedEx truck being driven by Tanner Horner the day he abducted and strangled her. The jury also heard from Athena's father, Jacob Strand, who says his daughter's murder drove him to drink and ruined his marriage. Demand on the state's power grid expected to jump 4 times the current level by 2032. ERCOT releasing preliminary load forecast. It projects more than 367,000 megawatts of expected demand by 2032. Let's tell you about how big that is. The all-time peak demand was 85,000 megawatts in August of 2023. Dozens of Walmart stores in Texas getting a facelift. The company says it's remodeling 72 stores and modernize the shopping experience. They include locations in Tyler, Longview, Lubbock, Texarkana. Statewide average for a gallon of gasoline, $3.74, down 13 cents this week. With your Texas News headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell, and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Good for you. Never tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Lubbock South Plains weather forecast says temperatures on this Thursday at about 87 degrees this afternoon. 10% chance for a thunderstorm as temperatures will drop overnight tonight near 60 degrees. Well, the big story on Friday will be the wind. Wind speeds as high as 45, 50 miles per hour in areas of blowing dust. Weather brought to you by the new Sonic Refreshers with real fruit. From the KMAX team, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Financial news on KFYO.
I'm Dan Loney with Your Money Now. Wall Street moved higher with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ setting record closes for the second straight day. And NASDAQ was up for the 12th session in a row as well. Dow Industrials up 115 points at 48,579. NASDAQ added 86 points. The S&P 500 gained 18. Get ready because that summer barbecue is going to cost you more this year. Beef prices climbed to all-time highs earlier this week. Live cattle futures traded at the CME Group in Chicago settled at $2.51 per pound on Tuesday, which according to FactSet data is the highest price on record going back to the 1960s. Maine is set to impose the nation's first statewide moratorium on energy-hungry data centers in a sign of growing political opposition to the tech giants' massive structures. The data centers have stoked fears about blackouts, rising electricity bills, and water needs. That's Your Money Now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. There's been regime change in Tehran following the attacks by the U.S. and Israel. But has the change been for the better? We'll have analysis. Also, the allegations of insider trading against popular prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket. Are they worth your money? And maximizing gas mileage as warmer weather arrives. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. Weekday mornings at 5 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Empowering West Texas with news that matters. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO.
It's the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you being out there today. You can send in your thoughts on the text line. I think it's maybe that one right there. There you go. Appreciate you being out there and tuning in. We've got the mayor of Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock Mayor Mark McBrayer in the studio
Twice
today.
in one day.
Yeah. How you doing today? Here you go. It might be that one right there. You don't have to worry about headphones anyway.
I can hear myself talk.
Yeah, you can take the headphones off. You don't you don't need them anyway. We're all good. Thanks for stopping by today. Appreciate you being here, and you're running for re-election. I guess we'll just start off with why'd you want to run for re-election as mayor?
Well, it's kind of the same reason I wanted to run for mayor. There's some things I wanted to accomplish, and 2 years is you can get started on some stuff, but you can't really see them through to accomplishment. And so I want to run for a second term to make sure that some of the things I have begun get carried on. And then again, there are you can't do everything all at once either. There are other things I want to begin a process on and maybe see through, or let some other mayor try to see them through. But it's a continual process of trying to figure out what you want to accomplish, how long is it going to take to do that. And I'm just at the point where I feel like we've started some things that are good for the city. I want to start to do some other things I think are good, and I just have to make sure that there's enough time to get them done.
Yeah. So what would you say are your maybe three biggest priorities if reelected?
Yeah, two of them really have not changed from my first time I ran. And I think most people, if they come on your show and you ask them your priority, if you ask them number one priority, most people would probably say public safety. That was mine in the last campaign. It is in this campaign. We had some good results this past year with lowering our crime rate across all areas of crime in the city. Of course, that followed a national trend, but there was one area in which we did see an increase. It's not really a crime area so much, but traffic accidents, hit and runs, that is a crime, and other things like that. So traffic safety is one area where we still have not seen a decline in incidents that impact the safety of our citizens. But we are understaffed in our police department. And we've made some good steps in the past 2 years to bring in new officers, trained officers through our lateral program where we hire police officers from other cities who come here to Lubbock. It's a lateral hire. It works out really well for them. That's worked out well, but we still need new recruits to fill some spots. We need probably, ultimately probably about 50 to 75 new police officers, not all at once, but I want to make a significant step in that direction in this next year's budget and over the next 3 years to try to get closer to those numbers that I think we need here in the city.
What has been keeping Lubbock from achieving that goal of having more officers?
Well, there's a lot of different things if you look back over a period of time, sometimes it is pay, and then we've had the council, made a big attempt at addressing that several years ago before I was on the council and brought the pay up, and then it's kind of gone back to not being as significant a pay raises year over year as might be good to keep recruitment high and the lateral program going well. Some of it was morale several years ago with our new chief, who's been here now 2 years. He came in right as I became mayor. That has improved vastly in our police force, and so that has improved things and makes us more capable actually to get recruits. I mean, if morale is low, you don't get recruits. So you can't fill the positions even if you had them open. That's really improved. So, and some of it is training, but I think for a lot of our police officers, they just want to make sure they want to do their job and they want to have enough of them on the force to do the job. And so the city has to make a commitment to that, and a part of it's a money commitment. And so that's something that we're going to be looking very carefully at in this year's budget. How can we do that without affecting our tax rate too much? I can't make promises about that. I've always attacked every year's budget with trying to find ways to carve out that budget to make room for things I think are bigger priorities. I'll continue to do that this year. But if you want to add about 25 new police officers, mostly on patrol, that's going to require a sizable amount of money.
Yeah.
And so I'm working hard to try to figure out how to do that with the least impact on the taxpayer. But I think most taxpayers, as long as they know where the money's going, and you can show them that, and they're sure of that and confident that that's really where it's going. You're not just using that phrase, public safety. We need to raise your taxes for public safety, and if you don't give us that money, we're going to, cut our police force in half.
Yeah.
I never do that. That's fake politics right there.
Yeah.
But if you're honest with them about what it's going to do, we've seen it in our own in Lubbock County when we want to give raises to our deputies. If people know where the money's going, they'll consider that very carefully.
Well, and I think too, if they see crime going down, if they perceive crime is going down.
Yeah, they got to believe that what you're going to do will drive that down.
And you're talking about, what do you say, 50 to 75 new officers, not in a year, but, maybe over the next few years or so. That's a pretty dramatic increase in numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be about, what would that be? About 5% per year, over time. And so that's what a lot of people don't know is we only have about 20 to 25 officers out on patrol in the city on any given shift.
Yeah.
Even though we have 450 odd employees of the police department, they're not all patrols. Some are motorcycles, some are detectives, investigators, support staff, et cetera, et cetera. But of what we have, because they don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you work in shifts. It's only about 20 to 25 on any given shift. And that's hard to cover a city the size of Lubbock, 145 square miles, and make a big impact. And the kind of crime we're talking about, attacking, drug, gang-related crime, you can only do that with boots on the ground, so to speak, officers out there on the streets.
I think it would shock people not only in the city of Lubbock, but the sheriff's deputies as well, as just how many officers are out at any given time. And one of the things that I always encourage people to do, we did I did the Citizens Law Enforcement Academy years ago. Yeah. And it was a fantastic course. And it's one of those where if you don't know, you go out.
Real eye-opening, isn't it?
It is. And, it's like you go out on a ride-along with one of these officers, and they're like, there's only, a handful of us really to patrol the city at night. And, that's eye-opening to see that, okay, these are the real numbers. It's not, there's not hundreds of officers out there.
Yeah, people think you got 450 officers. That's what you got out on the streets all the time.
Right, exactly. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's just not that way.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. So that's something maybe to be looking at in the future. Also, what about when it comes to, street maintenance, all that kind of, where are we looking at there?
Well, we've been on a process over the past, I don't know how many years, 5, 6, 7 years of trying to increase our street maintenance budget every year by $1 million. Our goal, I think we're about $14.5 million now. Our goal is ultimately to get to 20. I want to continue that process to make sure money is put there for street maintenance. I think when we get to 20, we'll really be able to take care of our streets the way I think we really need to take care of them and the way that is satisfactory to the citizens here, what they expect from us. Last year, we weren't able to do that. I think we only raised it $500,000 because we had a shortfall in sales tax in relation to what we expected based on previous years to come in. It was not true just of Lubbock. It was all across Texas and a lot of places in the United States. But it wasn't. We didn't see it coming. It's put us $5 million in the hole. So we had to, slam on the brakes on a lot of stuff, and that was one of the things. But this year we're running ahead of last year, well ahead. We've covered that and are ahead of it now. So I think we're going to be able to do that again.
What this is a question that came in from a listener. What is the biggest challenge that you expected to have as mayor that is still there, that still needs to be, taken on?
Some of the big challenges for a mayor, I think, public safety always is how do you keep your city safe, and what's the best way to use that money? Some people maybe are aware we opened the TAG Center here recently. That's the Texas Anti-Gang Unit. Incredible facility that coordinates the efforts of our police, our sheriff's department, our DPS people here, and our federal agents here as well in attacking gang-related crime, and they've had some real great successes since they opened that up. And again, that's the area of crime we really need to that we can affect by having police on the ground. So that's always a challenge: is how do you do that? We've always tried to do it without raising people's taxes. But there comes a point where you have to say, okay, if we're really going to make an impact here, what do we have to do, and what will the citizens sign on to? Yeah. And other things is just taking care of our infrastructure in the city, and we do a pretty good job of that, I think. Our parks are one of the things that I think we've seen some real improvements, and people have said that to me. Our parks are looking so much better. My belief is if you have assets, you need to take care of them before you add on new assets, that you're going to have to maintain. So I've focused on trying to make sure that our parks are taken care of, and people see it. Meadowbrook Golf Course, which is not in our park system, but people have come to me and say it is better now than it has ever been in their memory. It makes me feel good that we're doing something. Canyon Lakes is something I really would like to focus on. It's probably the greatest recreational asset we have in this city, and when we build Lake 7 at the end of that whole trail from the north all the way to the south through our city, we're going to have a economic recreational gem for the city, as well as a incredible water source for us. Water's always a project everybody's worked on before me. I continue to work on. It's a challenge in a dry area like Lubbock, but we have that well in hand.
Let's go ahead and take the break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with the mayor of Lubbock, Texas, as he runs for re-election, Mark McBrayer. We'll be right back.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
When I'm driving, I look twice for motorcycles.
I look twice because motorcycles are easy to miss.
I look twice just in case a motorcycle's in my blind spot.
I look twice at intersections and before I turn left.
I look twice because I want to know for sure.
I look twice for motorcycles because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Look twice for motorcycles. There's a life riding on it. A message from Texas Department of Transportation.
Live local talk on Sundays. Reason, Religion, and Reality. Steve Evans and the Reason, Religion, and Reality crew are a panel of constitutionally minded, liberty-loving patriots covering topics from U.S. Supreme Court decisions, government actions across the spectrum, and attacks against the church. Reason, Religion, and Reality. Sundays noon to 2 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO and the KFYO app.
Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to ready.com, REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to ready.com or call 888-525-REDY. 888-525-READY.
From the heart of the hub city to the wide open skies of West Texas, KFYO keeps you connected to the stories, the voices, and the conversations that matter most. This is the news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
Welcome back to the Chad HD Show. We've got Lubbock Mayor Mark McBrayer in the studio right now, just for one more segment before he's off and talking to another group. That's what he's doing. That's what you do when you're running a good re-election contest.
That's right. You put a lot of miles on your truck.
Yeah, you're talking to people and seeing what people.
You hope your voice holds out because that's all you got is talk.
There you go. Hey, let's talk about the Civic Center. I know you guys have unveiled the future plans for the Civic Center, and I know that's something that you want to see through.
Yes.
What are we looking at here for the future of the Civic Center downtown?
Well, the Civic Center is something that I've really wanted to see move forward. When I came into the office, I saw 2 or 3 plans there that have been drawn up over the years for Civic Center expansion and everything, and then just stuck on a shelf. And I said, man, I'm tired of spending money drawing up plans and not doing anything. So I set a course that kind of set us in that direction on a you don't look back course. We talked to our state legislators and got a bill out of the last legislative session that allows us to collect a portion of sales taxes, hotel tax, sales tax that would otherwise go to the state's coffers. We get to keep here in Lubbock to help fund and bond for specifically for a project like this. Can only be used for a project like this. Can't be used for streets or police or anything. Only for a venue, like a civic center. Then there is the hot tax, a 2% tax that we can get. We have to go to the voters for approval on that in November. But that, again, is a bucket of money that you bond off of. We have a private entity here in Lubbock that's very interested in committing substantial sums to this project. And then, of course, our legislators went out on a limb to get this statute for us. A lot of other cities wanted it. We're the only city that got it. And the governor didn't even sign the bill because he didn't want to give up the money. But, he laid it on his desk, and, of course, it becomes law without his signature anyway.
Yeah.
And the commitment we had to make was, if we go out on a limb and get this for you, you better do it.
Yeah.
And so we're doing it, and we're going to make every effort we can to do it. And, of course, we have to explain to the public how that helps this city. Why you want to do this. And the main reason is our current civic center, and I love it, it's 55 years old, but it mainly serves as a gigantic community center right at the moment, mostly local and very close-in regional events for it. There's a couple of larger events, but it doesn't really serve to draw in conventions, trade shows, and of course it's not suitable for concerts really much at all. So it's very limited in its use, but it still costs us quite a bit of money, more than $2 million a year to operate that as a giant community center.
Yeah.
So if we really want to make it effective, so it's not doing anything to bring people to Lubbock, bring in new money to Lubbock in terms of visitors and staying in our hotels, heads and beds, as I always say, eating in our restaurants, spending their money here. It's not bringing in conventions and trade shows here. New businesses taking a look at Lubbock and seeing it as an ideal spot to move. It's not functioning in that way. And we do get requests, but they say, well, how large is your exhibit center? 40,000 square feet. It's too small. Can't come. So we did a study last year, and they said you need about a 60,000 square foot one. So that's what this plan is proposed on, an additional 60,000 square feet, plus some other changes in the facility to make it more like what people are looking for now, a larger banquet hall, more meeting rooms, which we don't have enough of. So we came back with this other group this year that came to us with two plans, which the public has looked at, people were invited to look at, and we have good attendance there, good input. We will eventually adopt one of them, and in a couple of weeks they will bring us a bigger, not two-dimensional plan, but three-dimensional and a budget. And that's where we'll really start to work. Once we get those, then we have a budget and a view. We can go to the public and say, this is what we're going to do. It's not coming out of your pocket. It's not going to affect your tax rate here in Lubbock. It's based on visitors to Lubbock and what they pay when they come into our city. That's very important to understand this, So that's what I'm committed to. And then we have private individuals ready to develop around. We've already started to see development downtown because people know we're committed to this now. And so that's going to continue to roll forward. We've got a lot of empty dirt, a lot of empty buildings downtown, not paying taxes. You do something like that fills them up, that brings in property tax money, relieves the burden on your residential tax, home taxes. I'm all about that. I'm all about that.
How can people get more information about your campaign?
They can contact me at McBrayerforLubbock.com.
All right, very good. Good to see you, sir.
All right, Chad. Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Make sure you vote.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station's staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. America is listening to Fox News Radio.
Heard right here on News Talk KFYO.
With KFYO on social media by following KFYO Radio on Facebook.
Take KFYO wherever you go with the KFYO app. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO Lubbock.
It's 6 o'clock in Texas.
They will stop fighting for 10 days. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Israel and Lebanon agreeing to a temporary ceasefire. The two had their first direct diplomatic talks in decades this week after a month of fighting between Israel and the Iran-backed terror group Hezbollah.
We have no beef with Lebanon or with the Lebanese people. We have issues with Hezbollah. And I think today we realize we have the same goal. We want Hezbollah out of Lebanon, period. When I say we, It's the Israelis and the Lebanese.
Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, if the truce holds, it could increase the odds of extending the ceasefire between Iran, the U.S., and Israel, which is set to expire next week. This as the U.S. has expanded its efforts to stop Iranian ships.
CENTCOM says it is expanding the blockade, and the U.S. military will now go after sanctioned Iranian ships anywhere in the world. The U.S. naval blockade has turned back 14 vessels since Monday.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin in Washington. The House expected to vote this evening on a measure that would extend a foreign surveillance program.
House Speaker Mike Johnson aims to pass a temporary bill to prevent the controversial intelligence gathering program from going dark before a Monday night deadline. A group of bipartisan lawmakers say extending FISA is a crucial thing to fight terrorism, especially as the U.S. is in conflict with Iran. But regardless of the risks, FISA skeptics demand reforms like warrants and criminal prosecutions for FISA abuses. But even if the House passes the bill, the Senate won't align until Monday night. That leaves the Senate with only a few hours to pass the bill before the midnight deadline.
Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol. A man charged in the disappearance of a Navajo grandmother has pled guilty to robbery as part of an agreement with prosecutors. Preston Henry Toith could face as much as 5 years in federal prison. America's listening to Fox News.
As a business owner,
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. The suspect accused of throwing a Molotov cocktail at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's home is now facing multiple state and federal charges. That includes attempted murder, possession of an incendiary device, and possession of an unregistered firearm. Authorities say 20-year-old Daniel Moreno Gama wrote about AI's purported risk to humanity and traveled from Texas to San Francisco intending to kill Altman, throwing an incendiary device around 4 a.m. Friday, setting an exterior gate at Altman's home on fire before running away. Less than an hour later, Moreno Gama allegedly went to OpenAI's headquarters about 3 miles away and threatened to burn down that building. Nobody was hurt at Altman's home or the company office. The San Francisco DA says the state charges against Moreno Gama carry penalties from 19 years to life in prison. Now, hours after the attack, Altman posted on a blog saying fear and anxiety about AI is justified, but that it was important to de-escalate the rhetoric and have fewer explosions in fewer homes. There's more on this story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
Sunrise LBK, weekday mornings from 6 to 8:30. News Talk, KFYO.
Lubbock Top Plains weather forecast says temperatures on this Thursday at about 87 degrees this afternoon. 10% chance for a thunderstorm as temperatures will drop overnight tonight near 60 degrees. Well, the big story on Friday will be the wind. Wind speeds as high as 45, 50 miles per hour in areas of blowing dust. Weather brought to you by the new Sonic Refreshers with real fruit. From the KMAX Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, news and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Final hour of the program. Thanks to Lubbock Mayor Mark McBrayer for stopping by. Appreciate him for doing so. Today's running topic, we've been having a lot of fun with this one. The TV series, TV shows, TV series that really defined a decade, whether it was the 70s, 80s, 90s. What were those TV shows? I forgot which one exactly. Nick, do you remember what put this on your mind? Oh, you had asked a question of people's favorite TV shows. And Nick got to thinking, hey, I wonder what some of those defining shows are. And we've had a lot of folks, a lot of people weighing in, a lot of Cosby Show, a lot of MASH, a lot of Cheers. Also, TV shows like Friends, also Seinfeld. And I would agree with probably all of those as truly defining. And then you look at some, if you were, younger, you probably look at Saved by the Bell. Yeah, I would say for the younger crowd, Saved by the Bell absolutely was defining of a childhood, if you will. One texter says Saturday Night Live. Depends on the decade, right? Because most likely the Saturday Night Live that you watched growing up, whether it was high school, a little bit of college, that was probably the best Saturday Night Live that there's ever been. And then the generation after you was like, no, my Saturday Night Live was one of the best. Texture says, let's see, Rockford Files in the 70s, Magnum P.I. in the 80s, Star Trek The Next Generation in the 90s. From Russellville, Michigan. Another texture, All in the Family. The Facts of Life, another texture says, along with, Different Strokes, The Jeffersons, Good Times, Sesame Street. That from Rhonda weighing in. Another vote for Rockford Files, Magnum P.I., and Star Trek. Let's see, Barry in Abilene, Get Smart, Gomer Pyle, Beverly Hillbillies, and Star Trek. But there was, I'm trying to think here. I don't know if I would put any of those in the defining, Star Trek maybe, but there have been so many Star Trek TV shows that I wonder if it kind of gets muddled up a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. I think The Office and Scrubs carried the first 15 years of the 2000s. You know, I've never seen Scrubs. Never seen it. Office, fantastic TV show. Let's see. Seinfeld and Frasier, 90s and 2000s, then Breaking Bad. Yeah, Breaking Bad. That was a good one. Let's see, Carol Burnett Show. Brian in Amarillo says Hill Street Blues. Another vote for Sanford and Sons. Also got a Miami Vice, another Miami Vice on the text line. Let's see. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson was my husband's favorite show. Very good. Yeah, what are those truly defining, not just really good TV shows, not just great TV shows, but truly defining TV of a decade. Now, that could mean anything to anybody, you know? But you look at it and you go, okay, that was a truly defining TV show of the 90s, absolutely, or the 80s. 806-680-2780. 2790. You can send in your thoughts on the text line. Sound off on anything that we've talked about today. Let's see. Clarence Thomas warns intolerance among young generations will infect the courts. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas lamented a breakdown in civility among younger generations with ideological differences, raising concerns during a public appearance Wednesday that it will, quote, infect the judiciary. While speaking at the University of Texas at Austin, a student asked Thomas to reflect on his past comments detailing friendships among the justices in the wake of today's increasingly polarized climate. Quote, when I said a lot of that, it was when I first went to the court, Thomas said. That was a different court. That was a court that was a World War II generation. He remembered the late Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who revived a tradition of the justices eating lunch together, and after retiring from the bench, spent time advocating for civics education. Quote, she gets way too little credit for what she did, Thomas said. These people who respected, they were more in that tradition of a civil society that would listen to different points of view. The conservative justice added, I think this generation of kids, they're just in a different world. Thomas's answer came after an hour-long lecture at the school to mark the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. He commended the university for its School of Civic Leadership embrace of Western civilization curriculum and suggesting it should serve as an example for other universities to reform. Quote, I think that a young person should ask yourself while you're in college, how do you deal with all the differences? He told one student. Because I joined the court that dealt with differences as friends, as we respected each other, and I don't know how that civility, I don't know how you bring that back into the current environment with social media and name-calling and all the people accusing each other of various things and animus. Quote, I don't know how you do that, he continued. I fear that it's going to infect the institutions such as the court and judges, and in the future, because these young people will all hold these jobs at some point. The Supreme Court returns to the bench Friday when justices are expected to hand down at least one opinion in a pending case. So, good comments there from Clarence Thomas. You know, this idea that what the Supreme Court is going to look like in the future. I think, look, depending on who gets nominated, from the left, I mean, we're already getting there. We're already getting there where, people expect the justices all to hate each other. And so you might be pretty closer than you think, to having that impact the Supreme Court. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Let's see. How about one for the 50s? I Love Lucy. That's good. That was, I would say yes, truly defining the I Love Lucy. I would say that. 806-680-2790. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take the break. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio, The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss out on any of it. That's why the first thing you do when you get in a car is buckle your seatbelt. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, not wearing your seatbelt could get you a ticket, a fine, or worse. Nobody wants that. So remember, if you love it, click it. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Ted Cruz here. Tune in to KFYO every Sunday at 11 for Verdict with Ted Cruz. But stick around for Reason, Religion, and Reality at noon, followed by the best of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, right here on the News and Talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
This is George Norrie, and you're listening to News Talk KFYO.
Back on the Chad HD Show. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's see here. Gwen in Lubbock says, didn't watch much of it. Will never forget Who Shot JR from Dallas. Also, X-Files. Oh, X-Files was good, yeah. And no, there was only one Star Trek of importance. Let's see. Another texter. Three's Company. That's from Rob. A-Team. Let's see. Moonlighting. Remington Steele. I don't know if those are truly defining, but those were some hits. Happy Days. Another vote for Dallas. 806-680-2790. Paul from Post, late 70s, General Hospital. Now, that's, if we're, boy, I'm about to make some people mad. That is a soap opera. Now, I understand, like Beverly Hills 90210, soap opera in a way. Can you define a soap opera as truly defining of a generation? Because many of these lasted, the soap operas lasted multiple, decades. General Hospital being one. I don't even know if it's still on the air. I have no idea. I watched a video the other day. Oh, it was so soap opera. Like you had to get cleaned off afterwards. You had the soap opera all over you. Nick, have you ever heard of the soap opera Dynasty? No. This is This was great because they had and I can't even remember the house name or whatever, but it was the grand staircase in one of the homes, Nick, and this was one of those places where it was a very hazardous grand staircase because anytime you wanted to introduce a little bit of drama into Dynasty, some old person would just fall down the stairs, and it was a boom, 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 and then they'd finally get to the bottom after like going down 30 stairs, and they'd be right there at the bottom and just passed out, and then you'd have the music, doo doo doo, Dynasty. I don't know if they ever killed off people using the stairway. You would think. What, General Hospital is still on? Wow. 63 years. That's a long time. But you would think the people of wherever Dynasty was would go, don't go on those stairs. So many people have been injured from that stairway. Like, if you're invited up the stairway, don't go up there. Because there's a very good chance you're going to get knocked down. But what does everybody do? They go up the stairs. And then they fall. There's an episode, someone fell on a marble. It's just every time. Golden Girls. Finally, someone weighed in with some Golden Girls. Thank you for being a friend. The Dukes of Hazzard, that from Jason and Abilene. Dukes of Hazzard getting a vote. Another vote for Dukes of Hazzard. Let's see. Another texter. Chad, one thing that I've also learned is that there may not be any truly defining TV on today. Well, there will be. Something will stand out. In a few decades, we'll go, oh, yeah, that one show. But now it's all about, you have access to so much that it almost doesn't matter now. You have access to everything. You can go back and watch The Cosby Show if you want to. Let's see this from, let's see, where are we going here? Falcon Crest. Some soap opera love coming in. Oh, yeah, Game of Thrones. I don't know because and I will say this on behalf of my wife, who is a Game of Thrones purist, loves Game of Thrones. She hated what they, compared to the books, she was not. There were a lot of things where she complained about.
Yeah,
with the TV series.
The show had a lot of haters.
Yeah.
But I do remember between what do we just Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I do remember it was nearly every weekend.
Yeah.
It was the talk of the town. Are you going to watch the new episode this Friday or Saturday?
Yeah.
So for me, I think those two would probably stand out.
I'm going to throw this one out there for 2000s Sopranos. That's true. If you're having a watch party for the last episode ever of a TV show, that is decade defining. Sopranos, what I think still one of the greatest shows ever. Ben Runkle in Bovina weighing in. Dear Chad, Rick did a nice job stumbling into a topic tonight. It stands to reason that some man from Post would text in a soap opera for his show. Right on par for those people. Sincerely, Ben Runkle from Bovina, where we're too busy working to watch daytime TV. Someone's got to pay for those folks who sit around and watch soap operas in Post. That's... I like it. MASH. Yeah, we've had a couple of folks weigh in with MASH. St. Elsewhere, a very real to life activities of a hospital. I've heard of St. Elsewhere. I haven't watched it. I have seen The Pit, and that's I think it's pretty good. I don't know. There's one of I've got to be really set in to watch a good medical drama. Yeah, where people are coming in with limbs missing and all that. And I know it's not real, but you still get that. Oh, I've been binge watching The Rookie. Been binge watching that on the Hulu. Kind of like it. It's pretty good. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
Call in to The Chad Hasty Show at 1-800-687-0790. The Chad Hasty Show, broadcasting on the Texas Town Square Media Network.
Hi, Angie. This is your phone here in the cup holder. Pick me up.
No, I'm driving.
Oh, look, a text from Mr. Dreamy.
Hush, driving here.
I'm getting an email. Gwen is giving away free bunnies.
No, you are so pushy.
I know. I need therapy. Let's search it now.
Phone, quiet.
Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Talk, text, crash. A message from TxDOT.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the ADR.
TSN headlines: heartbreaking audio of the murder of 7-year-old Athena Strand played for a Tarrant County jury today. The jury also heard from Athena's father, Jacob Strand, who says his daughter's murder has driven him to drink and ruined his marriage. The state rested their case. The defense will call their own witnesses starting next Wednesday. Horner has already pleaded guilty. A jury will decide whether he faces the death penalty or life in prison with no parole. The body of a woman who went missing in Houston April 10th has been found there in a park. 23-year-old Ashanti Allen was about 8 months pregnant. Family members told the media they'd gotten a strange text from her saying she wasn't coming back. Now, according to court records, a man Allen had been dating was accused of being violent towards her. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is creating the first ever Office of Seafood. Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller calls it a long overdue move to level the playing field for American fishermen and shrimpers. With your Texas news headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell, and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Good for you. Never tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Your Lubbock Top Links weather forecast says temperatures on this Thursday at about 87 degrees this afternoon. 10% chance for a thunderstorm as temperatures will drop overnight tonight near 60 degrees. Well, the big story on Friday will be the wind. Wind speeds as high as 45, 50 miles per hour in areas of blowing dust. Weather brought to you by the new Sonic Refreshers with real fruit. From the KMXM team, I'm meteorologist Ron Arbor.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. America is listening to Fox News Radio.
Heard right here on News Talk KFYO.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Tonight at midnight on KFYO.
Hey, it's Ben Ferguson, and you can catch me every Sunday as I join the Senator on Verdict with Ted Cruz from 11 to noon. Then stay tuned for the Ben Ferguson Show, Sunday evenings at 6, where I discuss the latest in U.S. politics from overseas conflicts to immigration. All this and more right here on News and Talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
The News and Talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Don't forget about Chad. Find Chad on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on X and Instagram. It's The Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you being out there on this Thursday evening. Don't forget you can follow me on social media at Chad Hasty Radio. That's Chad Hasty Radio on Instagram, X, also on Facebook. It's also where you can find some podcasting. That's right. We've got the Chad Hasty Show available on podcast, both on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other podcast platforms that you may enjoy. All right, how about this story? This out of, where are we at today? KCBD, Texas Tech Chancellor defending the new course content guidelines as part of the LGBTQ WTF advocates criticize. They criticize the changes here. They had new guidelines for the more than 14,000 courses offered at Texas Tech, getting pushback from several organizations serving the advocates, so the LGBTQ community. Texas Tech leaders are working to be more efficient with these new course guidelines. The driving force behind the changes has been that Texas Senate Bill 37 that was written, authored by Chancellor Brandon Drayton last year when he was back in the legislature. Now he's the chancellor of the Texas Tech University system. The law requires state curriculum to serve as the foundation for a student's future, particularly in the workforce. It states that classes may not endorse specific public policies, ideologies, or legislation. The Academic, Clinical, and Student Affairs Committee of Texas Tech Board of Regents identified 60 courses that needed to be altered. The Lubbock LGBTQ advocates say the decision targets conversations about gender identity and sexual orientation. Quote, free speech on campus doesn't quite feel so free at the moment. Say, Jay Pettit, a member of the the Lubbock chapter of Parents, Family, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, also known as PFLAG. Pettit said the recent course requirements are creating a climate of fear. Oh, there's always a climate of fear on the university campuses. Now, remember, when conservatives have been targeted on the university campus, which, by the way, this doesn't target the LGBT community. It just says you don't need to study it. You don't need to study this part of the LGBT movement that is out there. It's not gonna save you any money. It's not gonna make you rich. It's gonna have no benefit whatsoever. If you want to learn about it on your free time, go and learn about it. But we're doing away with the one teacher per 100, 200 students that they would have that would be interested in taking a course like this. You're not going to find a very broad appeal in a course like this. And so different universities are looking at different courses and deciding, okay, well, which is a good course for my kid moving on. And you have different universities that are coming out now, and Walter Windler is one of those over at West Texas A&M, who said very early on in this process, we're going to have to change some things up. We're going to have to change some things up when it comes to university students coming on campus and what they can or can't study, because they want to be honest with the students and go, yeah, you can make money studying this subject, or you're probably not going to make very much money. Remember, at the end of the day, for the colleges that are out there, their job is to prepare young people, young minds, as a tool to make money and be successful. That's their goal. That's their whole, that's what they should be doing. They shouldn't be recruiting the biggest and best Democrats that are out there. That's what they have been doing. But no, it is a completely different job. Their job is to recruit some bright people to go through and go into the workforce and serve as ambassadors to the Texas Tech system. Meanwhile, you have all the kids who are at home who, maybe they're taking these LGBTQ classes, and it makes them feel good. It makes them feel great to be able to take one of these classes. But what does that ultimately do to you? What is that doing for you as a university student? I would argue it's not doing very much. It's not doing very much for your future either. It seems strange to come into work every day or to sit down in a classroom knowing that based on the memo, people who like me aren't supposed to exist, Pettit said. It's not said out loud. Like if I'm not offered to attend things or talk about my experience. The chancellor says respecting academic freedom has been at the center of the content review. Again, I know we talked about this the other day. I have no problem with this stuff at all. And by the way, I do think it should go beyond the LGBT stuff. I think we should look at all courses, and maybe every 10 years do an audit of courses and find out what courses are popular, what courses are not popular, what courses do we need to readjust, what courses need to be promoted more, what courses are making students money in the workforce. And I think if we would provide that information to prospective students, I think you would see some really, some very proud alumni that are seeing this information being put out there. But I think it would attract new students to your campus and university as they learn, hey, these guys are looking after their students and they're finding out what pays when it comes to taking these different college campuses and different college classes on their different campuses. And I think that that'll work tremendously in the future. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Hey, don't forget, you can look us up on social media, on of course the podcast as well at Chad Hasty Radio. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcast, also on what is that? You got Apple Podcast. Oh, Spotify. That's right. Spotify is where you can find the podcast as well. All right, let's do this. As we get ready to wrap things up, let's go ahead and take the break. When we come back, we will wrap up the today's program. I do want to thank Mark McBrayer for stopping by earlier today and talking about his campaign. We're going to continue with the campaign interviews coming up next week, so you won't want to miss out on any of that. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more here on the Chad Hasty Show.
I've got an old coat for a pillow, and the earth was last night.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Pedal to the metal. Greased lightning. Burn rubber. Make tracks. Full gas. Whatever you call it, it's speeding. And a heavy foot can cost you a heavy fine. or more. Speeding is a factor in more than 150,000 crashes every year in Texas, many of them fatal. Slow down, be safe, drive smart, and take it easy. A message from the Texas Department of Transportation.
This is Shannon Bream. Join me for Fox News Sunday as we sit down with a diverse and dynamic group of guests featuring interviews with political, business, and public affairs newsmakers from the U.S. and abroad. All part of the Sunday political block from Fox News Radio. Fox News Sunday.
Every Sunday evening from 5 to 6, right here on your home for the news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
If you've missed the Kim Commando Show, you've missed a lot.
But you're getting scammed. Scammers will take money from anyone. Doesn't matter how young, how old you are, how rich, how poor. Short, tall, fat, skinny. As soon as she went to WhatsApp, we both looked at each other and going, yeah, ugh. Has anyone asked you to go to Telegram or WhatsApp? That tells you it's a scam.
America's digital goddess,
Kim Commando.
Kim Commando every Saturday afternoon from 2 to 5 on KFYO.
This is House Call for Health. It's a growing request. Patients asking for unvaccinated blood for transfusions. But health experts are warning that can delay care and pose risks. A new study published in the journal Transfusion finding no evidence that unvaccinated blood presents any safety benefits. Experts also note there isn't really a system currently in place to check whether donated blood is coming from someone who is vaccinated or not. Vanderbilt University in Tennessee conducting the research based on 15 requests for unvaccinated blood over 2 years from 2024 through 2025. A spike in unvaxxed requests coming after approval of COVID-19 vaccines. This was an observational study, though, not a controlled experiment, so it couldn't prove that refusing standard blood directly caused any specific patient issues. Several states are proposing systems to allow patients to receive blood from unvaccinated donors, but none have been enacted into law. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady. Fox News.
Arc Midnight, live. Saturday nights from 10 to midnight. On News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Welcome back to the Chad AC Show, final segment of the program today. And, oh boy, we have so much to get into. Still not a lot of time, obviously, with this being the final segment. Do want to remind people about a couple of things here. One, check out the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Don't forget about that. Also, number two, tomorrow will be an open line Friday. We'll have a lot of time for you to weigh in on any of the big topics of the day. Want you to be able to sound off on that coming up tomorrow. So, obviously heading into what looks like to be a great weekend as well. Looking forward to that as always. How about this story? We told you earlier about young men in church. This out of futurism.com. More than half of men aged 18 to 49 have already fallen into online sports betting. Sports betting has been has seen a massive surge in popularity since the 2018 Supreme Court decision struck down a federal prohibition on it. Ever since, ads for gambling apps in online casinos like DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetMGM have become virtually inescapable across social media and TV. Meanwhile, lawmakers are becoming concerned over a steep rise in gambling addiction and calls to gambling helplines. The sheer scale of the trend in the United States is ominous. According to a recent survey of adult Americans by Siena Research Institute and Bonaventure University, more than half of young men aged 18 to 49, they said they've had an active account with at least one online sports betting service. An astonishing 46% of them said they're actively betting on the platforms. The poll was conducted back in February, involving over 3,000 respondents. Over 27% of all Republicans said they were using the overall 27% of respondents said they were using these sites, a rise of 5% over the last year alone, and 22% said they were actively placing bets. That's up from 17% back in 2024. And there's a lot out there. One, it's become very popular. Yes, the NFL has embraced sports gambling. The folks at baseball have embraced sports gambling. You see it everywhere. You go to these stadiums now, and you walk in, and remember that like in the state of Texas does not want you to gamble unless you show up to a football stadium or unless you play the Texas lottery. Then you can make all kinds of money when it comes to gambling. If you show up to a game, they actually have a lotto that's happening during the game. Did you know that? Yeah. They have a lottery system going on, and they don't have a problem with it on the statewide level. Why? Because it's not viewed as gambling. It's not viewed as gambling, so you can get away with it. But a lot of people view it as gambling, and a lot of people view it as, man, I thought I was going to take home a week's worth of pay this week. That's how it's viewed. A lot of young men, they get sucked into it because for a lot of people, it's easier than some of the other ways that they have found to make money when they have a opportunity. And so again, I look at it, and people ask me all the time, "Do you think we'll see sports betting coming to Texas in the next legislative session or upcoming nowadays?" And the answer is no. I don't see it happening at all. There's so many detrimental stories about sports betting playing out across the U.S. and playing out in in Texas that I think the lawmakers who are willing to do it, I think they've been scared off. I think they've been scared off from it because of all these stories that you've seen, not only in Texas, of younger people who have become addicted to online gambling and online sports betting, but in the states where it's already legal, and you have people who younger men who they can't control themselves. They feel like they have to bet on every single game, and they feel like it's okay if they have to dip into the child's emergency funds or the couple's emergency funds to float a nice little $3,000. They think it's okay to do it, and it's hurt a lot of marriages. It's hurt a lot of people. And so again, this idea, Chad, do you think that Texas is going to get gambling anytime soon? I thought you were on a pathway towards it. I thought you're not gambling, not resort gambling, but as far as placing a bet on some of the sports betting websites, I thought you were on your way. But now I think you are a long ways away from getting sports gambling okayed in the state of Texas. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can send in your thoughts. You can weigh in with those. If you don't have time to get online, you can always get in touch with us tomorrow during an Open Line Friday. We'll I'm sure be talking about some of this very same items that are out there. You've got so many people I've noticed who are really paying attention to what's going to be going on with Iran going into the weekend. Folks, let me tell you this. When it comes to Iran, when it comes to Trump, when it comes to everything that's being said out there. I am going to give Trump as much leeway as humanly possible on this. One, I think he's done a good job. I think he's done a good job handling this war in Iran. I think he's done a good job with it. I think he has earned our respect when it comes to the war in Iran. Will he enter Cuba? I don't know. You know, they
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station's staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.